Hello, second graders, and welcome to EL Lesson 19. Today we're continuing our work around the story Stone Girl, Bone Girl. And we're going to talk about what happens in the middle of the book. So we're working out of our purple EL books, and we are on page 71, which we started last time, and we're going to be getting page 72 as well. All right, so we're going to be listening to some important events that take place in the story Stone Girl, Bone Girl, and we're going to practice in small groups, orally retelling what happened in the middle of the book. So in small groups, we're going to retell what happens in the story Stone Girl, Bone Girl. So if you remember what happened in the beginning, well, we met the characters, Mary Anning and Pepper, and the setting, which is the place, which was Lyme Regis. In the middle, things start to happen. Her dad passed away. So let's take a look from where we left off last time in the story, Stone Girl, Bone Girl. I think I'm gonna reread this one page because this is where our assignment is. So here is the illustration. Pepper has died. And it says the workshop was so quiet after Pepper died. To Mary, it felt as if half her world had fallen away, like the farmhouse on the cliff edge, and there was no money. So that is definitely a problem. So let's write that. There was no money. There was no money. Okay, so I'm on page 71. Here is another problem. Pepper died and there was no money. Okay? Her mother began to sell everything she could think of, and still they went to bed hungry. Now remember, this is a true story. So this really did happen. Now, I want to look at page 72 because we're on page 13. It says, listen to your teacher read aloud part of page 13. Then write your answers below. What event or challenge happened in this part of the story? The workshop was so quiet after Pepper died. What happened, Griselda? What happened, Theodore? What happened, Juan? Well, Pepper died, comma, and they had no money. Pepper died and they had no money. What was challenging about this event? Well, they were going to bed hungry. So we'll write Mary and her mother went to bed hungry. There was no money. They could not buy food. Mary and her mother went to bed hungry. Remember, you can pause this at any time. Okay, next question. How did Mary respond to the challenge? Well, let's see. One evening, Mary wandered up to the churchyard. A heavy dog hung over everything. Remember, she met the dog. Let's go to the next page. I remember what she started to do with her curiosities. Do you remember? That summer, the town was full of rich tourists, people that are there visiting. A beautiful place that still exists. It really does exist in England. As Mary and her dog watched the rich ladies and gentlemen wandering the streets, she suddenly had an idea. Perhaps she could sell her curiosities. How did her mother respond to the challenge? Well, let's see. Her mother, that's how Mary responded. Mary started selling her curiosities. Her mother began to sell everything she could think of. I found it on the last page. It wasn't how Mary responded, it was how her mother responded. And you can find it in that first paragraph there. Her mother began to sell everything she could, and so is Mary. Her mother began to sell everything she could. Okay, they had to survive somehow. So her mother began to sell everything she could. All right, we're working out of page 72. In small groups today, there is a challenge in the middle of this story. I would like you to retell the challenge that Mary's family is facing. All right, thank you for your hard work and attention, and I will see you next time.